Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Good morning, good morning. It is time for Naturally Inspired Radio. I got to get hype here. I got to get hype. I need coffee. You guys, I'm tired. I am tired. This week, last night, last night we had our weekly wellness workshop, which was awesome. It was awesome, as always, great to connect with people and talk. But I ended up staying up late. And then before I was going to bed, I was like, what did I do for my workout today? Did I run? Was that yesterday? Because I was thinking about what I had to do this morning. And I was like, what did I do? And I was like, I can't, what day is it? I'm going to blame it all on Groundhog's Day, I guess, because this week just feels like one big Groundhog Day. I'm telling you, it's crazy. So I got to do a little bit of interior pump up, get myself jazzed, have another cup of coffee. And then on top of that, pause for a little bit of complaining here. So Jason makes the best coffee in the world, no doubt about it. Like, I love my morning coffee, but he was busy this morning and I was like, I don't want to bother him. And so I'll just make my own coffee. It's not very good. I don't know. I do the same thing he does. Do you have this? Do you have people in your life that make you something like a cup of coffee, or they make a certain meal, and it doesn't matter who else makes it or what it is. It's just not the same unless they do it. Do you have people in your life like that? Do you know what I'm talking about? I mean, I think about, mom's cooking. Everybody thinks their mom's the best cook usually. I mean, I thought my mom was the best cook. And sometimes I think about some of the dishes she used to make and I crave them. And I always end up texting my sister. I'm like, remember that like rice and cheese casserole that mom used to make? Or do you remember that thing she used to make? And we'll banter back and forth about it. Oh, yeah, I haven't had that for years. I haven't thought about that for years. And it just makes me kind of go, oh, gosh, pause for gratitude. When you have those moments in your life, pause for gratitude. Like pause for that special cup of coffee every day. Pause for those meals that you get from mom or whatever. Because that made me think like, I wish I had known it was going to be the last time I ate my mom's food. I wish I had known that. But so yeah, I'm sometimes impatient with my perfect cup of coffee, but then I always regret it. I should have waited. I should have let him make the coffee. Anyways, welcome to Naturally Inspired. I'm so glad you're here today. I'm ready to talk about something that I think we really need to understand. And it is this system. Yeah, we know about the corruption, right? We know about the corruption. We know, it's pay to play. It's gangster. It's like just what would Tony Soprano do? And you can pretty much figure out why people are doing the things they're doing, especially in the political realm, the corporate realm. So we know that. But something occurred to me when I was getting ready for the show that made me think like, because you've seen all these clips from like Melinda Gates yesterday. And I'm just like, like she's not saying something, And it made me think like, are we even set up for truth? Like with the way our legal system functions and everything, like, are we even set up for truth and justice in the world? It's like we have navigated truth and justice through legalese and extortion, and all this other stuff that I'm starting to wonder, like, it's not coincidental that nobody seems to be going to jail. We don't get justice like in a tangible way. And I start to wonder, is it even possible? Like, is it even possible? And, things are heating up around Dr. Peter Attia online. Of course, he made that statement. We've been covering it this week. And, Jason was like, why are you so stuck on that guy? Like, who cares about him or whatever? And yeah, I know, who cares about him? And it's not about him. It's about who he represents. He represents this class of people that can chase clout, weasel their way into places, and then do what they're told. They don't do it for themselves, but they'll say what other people want them to say. And then they move up the ladder and they become an expert. And that's what he represents. Like, he's just like the perfect example of that, of misleading people, of using the system, working the system, being a clout chaser, worshiping like money and power. Yuck. And so more stuff is coming out online about him. He did this lengthy statement. And he's lost his position now at CBS News. But here's the thing. Okay, you know precisely how I feel about this guy, right? But also, I want to warn you about something. So I'm going to start with this clip from Morning Joe. Watch this, and then I'll explain.
saying he's not. He never actually completed a residency. And so for those of us in medicine who followed his career, because he's been quite outspoken on longevity medicine, things that actually don't have any research or evidence on it, but causes people to spend a lot of money. We looked at his career, and he's become this guru in longevity, and he hasn't even practiced medicine. He's not trained to do so. And I should also say, just based on what was just discussed, he's a mandatory reporter, Mika, when it comes to any hint of sexual abuse. He claims he didn't hear it.
Doctor's oath.
Doctor's oath. He's a mandatory reporter.
But if you're not a real doctor, you haven't taken the oath. Well, so there you go, CBS. It's easy. You really...
Okay, hold up. Wait a minute. This guy's not on our team. Peter Attia, Dr. Peter Attia, not on our team. Okay? When I say our team, I mean people who are actually into connecting people to real solutions for health, which means root cause, understanding root cause, which means lifestyle, which means tapping into all of your faculties, understanding that emotions have a bigger impact on your overall health, understanding, all these things that nobody ever talks about. Okay, except for in this realm of really true natural health and wellness. See, what I discovered, and it was really revealed to me during COVID, was that there's at least two camps in the health and wellness space. At least two camps, okay? One camp is people, well, actually I tweeted this. So let's bring up my tweet. There are two camps. COVID revealed the health and wellness space is divided into at least two camps. You have promoters of actual health and wellness, and you have promoters of the appearance of health and wellness. The latter is willing to inject, Peter Attia, cut, smother, brutalize, poison the body to achieve an aesthetic. It's the appearance of health and wellness. And the other is just not. The other being people who truly understand that true healing comes from your body and nowhere else, and that you have to cultivate health with your thoughts, with your biology, with the information you put in your body, with how you move your body, with your understanding that you're a being with a frequency. Like, there's so many variables that go into curating health. Peter Attia is not on our team, okay? Peter Attia, Dr. Peter Attia is not on our team. He has pushed pharmaceuticals. He's doing metformin, apparently, with Jeffrey Epstein. Like, he is not on our team, okay? These guys at Morning Joe, they want him to be on our team. They want him to be on our team so they can say, look at this scumbag, and he's a holistic doctor. I've seen people talking about him online like he's a holistic doctor. No, he never was. He never was. This guy was a clout chaser. He was going wherever they wanted him to go and doing and saying whatever they wanted him to do. You don't get on CBS by telling people don't take pharmaceuticals. So the next question I have about this is this. So here we are. We understand the medical model is broken. We understand the medical model has some value to it. Okay, there is some value in there, some knowledge, some science. Isn't that weird? I don't even like to say the word science anymore because it's been weaponized. It's one of their words, I feel like. But there is like real biology. There is biology to health. Absolutely, yes. Okay, science to health. Yes. Not saying that there isn't. But what I am saying is that this model of science, okay, we all adhered to it, from birth or whatever. We're born into it. It's not till something bad happens to us that we come out of that model and we go, yeah, like I'm on 10 medications. I got this. I'm not well. This is what happens to most people. Like they're giving me more pills and I'm not getting better. So like this system's not working for me. Or we discover massive lies like we did through COVID. But because the conditioning is so deep, we still judge someone's value in the space of health by their certification. And that is what Morning Joe is trying to do. They're trying to incite and discredit him. Stay tuned. Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredaradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Okay, follow us on Facebook and share. I can't believe he's having me promote my Facebook. I don't even have a Facebook. This is Naturally Inspired Radio Facebook. But you know how contentious I am around even the word Facebook because, they booted me off. But I would be so grateful if you did follow us on Facebook because this is an uphill battle here. As you know, I complain about it probably too much, but censorship is real, and it's especially real when it is around health and connecting people to real health solutions. We're all organic here at Naturally Inspired. This is all organic. It's run by audience participation. They fund us. You guys fund us. We're so grateful for that. But one of the ways that you can help us grow is just by following us on these platforms. So follow us on Facebook, share it with a friend, tag somebody in it. You can find us, deep search, Naturally Inspired Radio. Okay, so back to what I was talking about here on the Morning Joe. They see a big target here and they want to knock it out of the park, right? They want to say somebody like Dr. Peter Attia, he wasn't even a doctor. He didn't complete his residency. Okay, blah, 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 right? The reason why they're targeting him is just, it's an opportunity. This guy went off the beaten path, right? He went into longevity. He carved his own path. And I'm going to play a clip for you later in the show about where he explains why he did this. Because the medical model sucks, everybody. It sucks. You have to be a sheep in it. You have to follow protocols. You have to work for corporations. You don't get to practice medicine anymore in this broken medical model that we have in our country. The only way you're able to practice medicine is if you start your own clinic, which is very hard to do thanks to malpractice insurance and all the other stuff that goes along with liability and whatnot. Not to mention insurance claims don't get paid out. I mean, they make it very difficult for an independent physician to exist independently. Not that they don't, they do, but I think it's only like 17% now of doctors actually function independently, like they own their own business. The rest has been swallowed up by big insurance, big hospital systems, big corporations. So when you get into those big corporations, those big hospital systems, you ain't practicing medicine. You are following a protocol. You are following orders. You are a robot, essentially. And so somebody like Peter Attia, I could see, yeah, that wouldn't be a good model for him. He wouldn't want to work under other people where they tell him what to do. Absolutely not. He is the master of his own destiny. Absolutely. I don't think this guy's ego could fit in my entire studio here. Okay? Just saying. So we don't want him. He's not one of us. I get that he's not one of you guys, Morning Joe over there. I get he's not one of you, but he ain't one of us. He's what you call one of those opportunist type of individuals that is chasing like biohacking, and selling the aesthetic. Like I said, there's two camps here in health and wellness. And there's one who are really concerned about, real health solutions and feeling your best. And then there's another camp that is solely fascinated with looking good and appearing like a fake image of what is healthy. Okay. We have this image thanks to like social media and even before social media, magazines, propaganda, commercials, actresses, blah, blah, blah. Oh, healthy means this, really skinny if you're a lady and, maybe long, luscious blonde hair and not a wrinkle on your face and really big lips and really big boobs and all the things. That's healthy. No, not really, actually. Not really. That is the appearance of health and wellness. Like it looks like it. But then behind the scenes, what we tend to find out is these people are injecting things to get washboard abs. They're not actually even athletic a lot of the times. And I'm not saying this, to toot my own horn or whatever, but I'm not a small girl. I'm not a skinny little thing. I have a lot of muscle. And, I can't tell you how many skinny little things I've passed on the course of a half marathon or a marathon. You've got to do the work. You've really got to do the work to build yourself up to health and wellness. There is no cheating it. You can't inject it. You can't cut it out. You can't suck it out. You just can't. And so what true health and wellness looks like, you really, you don't necessarily know what it looks like. It's what it feels like. It's what you feel like. Do you get up with energy? Can you run a couple of miles? Can you lift things up? Do you have to get people to lift stuff for you? These are the measurements of real health and wellness. It isn't the size of your ass. It isn't the size of your lips. We've got to get real with each other and understand that it can look different on everybody. Somebody like Peter Attia was definitely in the camp of aesthetics for health and wellness, as many of these kind of biohackers are. And listen, I don't begrudge you. Go do it. I'm not judging anybody. If that's what you want to do, excellent. You should call yourself that though. You're in the looking good business. I'm in the looking good business. Awesome. Awesome. You don't poison yourself to look good if you're after health and wellness. You actually can't, like, man, sure. I'd love to have no wrinkles, but there's no way I'm injecting my face for that. I would never put my health at risk for, a small window of time of ironing out some wrinkles. It's just not worth it. There's more to life than the way you look, and these people, they kind of are predatory because, not being comfortable in your own skin, it's insecurity. It truly is. And I feel bad for people like that. When I see a lady who's done all the things, all I see is insecurity. And it's weird because a lot of those ladies, they really try to defend that stuff. And they're like, well, you're just jealous. Maybe you look, you don't look as good as me or whatever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you don't get it. You don't get it, I don't know what you're trying to do. If you're trying to attract other people, when you do stuff like that to yourself, you're attracting the wrong people. You're attracting people who care a lot about that and maybe not so much about who you are and your impact and your purpose and your heart and the way you treat your kids or the way, you hold your family together or all these other things. Like you just haven't quite gotten it yet. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying there's going to become a point, and there's a lot of people doing this now, where you do get it. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I want these breast implants out. I want this out of my face. I want everybody, that's what happens when you finally do get it, that there's more to life than that. They want to change. And the predatory model of that, like people like Peter Attia do, like I said, it's a free world. I would never take that away. If people want to do that, then by all means do that, but don't get it twisted. It's not health and wellness. So when I was thinking about all this, while that's going on, I see Melinda Gates has dropped some stuff. And so I want to go directly to that clip. Because this made me think, and I go, oh, okay. Like, is the system even set up for people to do the right thing? Is it even set up for people to do the right thing? Like, was it set up for Peter Attia because he wanted to get out of the medical system? Was it even set up for him to actually practice health and wellness? Or this is the route he felt he had to go in order to make money and be successful? Is there a route to success where you're just doing the right thing anymore? Watch this clip of Melinda Gates.
Be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein and whatever was going on with all of the various people around him. No girl. I mean, it's beyond heartbreaking, right? I remember being those ages, those girls were. I remember my daughters being those ages, right? So for me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage. But I have moved on from that. I purposely pushed it away and I moved on. I'm in a really unexpected, beautiful place in my life. So whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me.
Well,
and I am so happy to be away from all the muck.
I wonder what your dominant emotion is when you read these news articles.
Just unbelievable sadness. Unbelievable sadness, right? And again, I'm able to take my own sadness and look at those young girls and say, my God, how did that happen to those girls, right? And so for me, it's just sadness for, I left my marriage. I had to leave my marriage. I wanted to leave my marriage. I had to leave I felt I needed to eventually leave the foundation. So it's just sad. And it's kind of like, at least for me, I've been able to move on in life. And I hope there's some justice for those now women, right? We see them standing up in front of microphones in D.C. What they went through is just unimaginable.
This, everybody, is relief. This is relief in action. Do you see her body language here? That is relief. Oh, I had to leave my marriage. I got myself away from that. I have so much to say about this. I think Melinda knew what was coming down a long time ago. Stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Kemper-Garcia, and I am so glad you are here. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Inflammation is the root cause of all dis-ease in the body. Try our cellular reset. That is those potent polyphenols that all of you ask questions about all the time. Sometimes I call them the red pills because they do come in pill gel caps that are red. Sometimes I call it the cellular reset. It's all the dense polyphenols. So give it a try today. You can find it at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Don't forget, when you're a customer of Naturally Inspired, you get all of the coaching for free. So the Tuesday night weekly wellness workshop we had last night, and we have every Tuesday night, you get to participate in that. You get access to my health text line so we can communicate back and forth. You have questions, I'll lead you to answers. So get started today with the cellular reset. It's a great way to tackle inflammation with dense polyphenols at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Okay, so here's Melinda. The body language here, first of all, I just have to say too, I think allegedly, okay, I'm not accusing anybody. In my opinion, allegedly, just looking at this woman, it appears her eyes are quite glassy. And I would think that if your husband of so many years maybe is dealing with, all the stuff that's coming out about him with Epstein, maybe you would need to be medicated, but... sure looks that way to me. It sure looks that way to me. It was relief in motion here. I would suspect that for many years, the people involved in Epstein have known this day was coming. They've been preparing for it, thus divorcing people. Remember this? This was like 3 years ago or more, I think 3 years ago. This was Melinda Gates talking about kind of the same scenario, totally different body language. Check it out.
There was enough there that I realized it just wasn't healthy, and I couldn't trust what we had.
There was one report that said it was multiple affairs. Do you care to say anything about that?
I think those are questions Bill needs to answer.
Okay. It was also widely reported that Bill had a friendship or business or some kind of contact with Jeffrey Epstein, and that you were not, that was very upsetting to you. Did that play a role in the divorce at all in this process?
Yeah, as I said, it's not one thing, it was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him. I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time.
Did you?
Yes, because I wanted to see who this man was. And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. So, my heart breaks for these young women because that's how I felt. And here I'm an older woman. My God, I feel terrible for those young women.
I'm sorry. The legal coaching going on here is just okay. So there's a repetitive line here. The reason for the divorce is many things, not just one thing, many things, right? That's echoed in multiple clips today and back then. Okay. You have to ask Bill about those things, right? But today, boy, am I ever glad I'm not married to that guy anymore, right? She knew back then. They all knew and have known. And this sucker has been like a percolating pot on a hot stove, just like somebody keeps trying to keep the lid down until boom, the people wouldn't allow it. The people would not allow it. But it took years to get here. And there was a lot of negotiating going on, and it almost didn't even come out. I think Trump said, what did he say? A lot of people will be hurt by this. Are you still concerned about the Epstein files? Have you seen some of the stuff in this now? Well, why wouldn't we be concerned of that, So here are a few reasons. So I think we don't think about this, right? We think truth, justice, just do it. Just say it. Just like that's me, right? I'm like, just, gosh, why do you got to be so beat around the bush? Just spit it out. Tell the truth. It's not as easy as that in the world that we live in. It should be, there should always be a road to truth. If you're telling the truth, there should be protection for telling the truth. But there really isn't. There really isn't. So the reason why people struggle like this is because structurally, just tell the truth. People underestimate how many legal, financial, and institutional constraints exist, especially at the level of like the Gates Foundation. Right? So here are some reasons why this scenario plays out the way it does. I'm not condoning it, by the way. I'm not saying this is why they do it and that they shouldn't. I'm saying this is some understanding here. Why she didn't just why people like her don't just stand up and say like, oh my gosh, I found out my husband was doing this and I had nothing to do with it. Like it's so rehearsed and orchestrated. Say this, don't say that, put it back on him. Don't take responsibility. Make sure there's separation. Make sure I could just hear her legal counsel. We got to make sure there's a big separation between you and him and the foundation. And, and so here are some of the reasons. Non-disclosure agreements, NDAs. High net worth people, foundations, corporations routinely involve multiple NDAs. They cover internal conversations, financial agreements, board decisions, private knowledge gained through proximity. Violating an NDA can result in massive financial penalties, loss of assets and settlements, immediate lawsuits. Even truthful statements can still be legally prohibited. Of course, divorce and settlement restrictions. So non-disparagement clauses. You can't say anything bad about them. Or there'll be ramifications, right? Confidentiality about past conduct, restrictions tied to ongoing payments or asset divisions. Speaking out could reopen litigation and you'd have to go through the whole thing again. It could jeopardize your settlement terms. It can trigger clawbacks, meaning whoosh, we're taking that back. Silence can be contractually enforced and not voluntary. Foundation and fiduciary obligations. This is something that goes on in the health space all the time. Like I'm learning about that, like Walmart has a fiduciary responsibility to their stockholders. If they give water or they donate to something, they have to prove that it is in the best interest and of the financial gain of the company. They have a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders. So even if they wanted to give a whole bunch of stuff away, if it didn't make financial profit and end up being able to be, justified that this would build the company up, you can't do it. You can't do it. So when someone is connected to a global foundation or nonprofit, they may be bound by fiduciary duty to protect the organization, board governance rules, donor agreements, public disclosures, even personal ones can expose the foundation to lawsuits, harm beneficiaries, violate governance laws. In those cases, silence is framed as protecting the mission. Another one is legal exposure for third parties. Speaking publicly can implicate business partners, board members, staff, donors. Even indirect statements can create legal risk for others, which opens the speaker to defamation claims, breach of duty claims, civil liability. Thinking about it here, she says she's separated even from the foundation. I bet you anything we're going to find out the foundation is somehow linked into this. Not saying it is, not making accusations here. I just find it suspicious that she's separating herself from the foundation. Something to watch for. Power imbalance and institutional pressure. At elite levels, power isn't just personal, it's systemic, right? Pressure can come from teams of people, boards, financial institutions as a whole, political. We've seen names like Jamie Dimon in the news directed to Epstein too, because JP Morgan Chase, I believe. I'm not saying that they are, doing anything illegal or any such thing. I'm not accusing anything. I'm just saying there are stories online talking about what was the affiliation here? Because this is a lot of money. And Jeffrey Epstein was in charge of a lot of money. And just how do you just keep going along, not questioning, where's the money coming from? I say that's Carmela syndrome. Carmela syndrome. Carmela syndrome is, Carmela from The Sopranos. I know I make a lot of Soprano references, but isn't it the best TV series ever? But it has a lot of life lessons in it, really. But Carmela, she knew exactly what Tony Soprano was doing. She knew exactly who he was when she married him. She knew she enjoyed the luxuries of the Tony Soprano lifestyle, the power, the riches, the influence. But she seemed to hate and be mad at Tony all the time for everything he did. That's Carmela syndrome. And that's what I think was going on a lot in the case of Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of people were looking the other way because why stop the tidal wave of money? Again, do we have a path to do the right thing? I know we do, because we answer to God. We don't answer to, things on this earthly plane. But it'd be nice to get some justice in the earthly realm. Although we weren't promised it, still would be nice to see it. Don't you think? Anyway, so there are, reasons why these people talk like they do, and you just want to kind of figuratively strangle them, like, just say it, just say it. The message through these circles is often, you may speak, but understand there are consequences. Which why I think maybe, Trump wasn't he didn't really care if the Epstein files came out or not, because I think they were fuel a lot of times. He could use the Epstein information against people to get them to do things he wanted them to do. For good or for worse. Who knows? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Book your free complimentary health assessment with me. Yeah, you can work with me for better health. You can book your assessment at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Get on my calendar today. I love the time I get to spend with you. If you have any questions about the Naturally Inspired community or booking or what have you, just give me a text, 720-303-8868. I'll get to it. I'll answer it. And we can get you exactly where you need to be. So head on over, naturallyinspiredstore.com, book there, that free health assessment, or text me, 720-303-8868. All right, let's get to our naturally inspired moment today. Because this one I really put a lot of thought into, not that I don't on other days, but this one I think is very important. It was kind of like the message that I was getting that I really needed to convey today. And here's what it is. I think we really have to start focusing now as we move into the digital revolution and this new paradigm of health. You know, we've exposed the problem. A lot of people know now that there's a problem. So it's time to really start, honing our understanding about health and breaking free. When I was talking about Peter Attia, what I really wanted to drive home here is that, we know something's not right with the system, right? We know that, but yet we still kind of cling to the system because we don't know what else there is. We don't know how to label what else there is. So, they're weaponizing the fact, he didn't do his residency and he's not really a doctor. And I know this is going to shock a lot of people, but I'm like, who cares? And I'm not a Peter Attia fan, right? Who cares? Who cares? That doesn't really mean what you think it means anymore. Understand that, a medical doctor has a certain set of skills that they learned through the institutions. Now, there are doctors that are fantastic doctors that actually go outside the institution and learn about nutrition and learn about emotions and understand that it's not necessarily a pill for every ill, okay? There are medical doctors like that. But guess what? They didn't learn it from the institution. They learned it from their personal drive to actually help their patients. Because like Peter Attia, once they got into the system, they realized, oh my gosh, I'm actually not going to be able to help too many people here with these tools that I'm permitted to use. So as consumers of healthcare, we have to stop validating or making it the only way to, validate somebody's expertise with certificates. Because I'll tell you, what I learned through holistic nutrition training, I don't really practice here. I've gone elsewhere to get more training to truly understand health. I've attended conferences. I've gone to workshops. I've immersed myself in the information because what you learn in those programs is eat low fat, go vegetarian, exercise. It's the same old BS. And that doesn't work. So understand that, if you're going to require in your own mind, if you're going to require, this person's, needs to be a medical doctor. They need to have this certificate. They're not a specialist. They're not this. They're not that. They're, you're not even this. I'm telling you, we're living in a different world now. There are no experts because guess what? The experts lied. They lied. And their little racket is captured. They're now interested in one thing, consensus and moving the train forward so they can make more money for themselves. Remember earlier this week when I played those clips from Mike Benz where they're, it's all about how many favors I can do you while I'm in a position of power so that when I get out of a position of power, I can recoup on the favors. Like really, greed has just completely taken it over. And so as a citizenry, as a population, we are going to have to use discernment and, take guidance and understand that we're capable of researching and understanding how our body works. As I always say, nobody is more qualified to understand your body and what you need than you. And when we return to that confidence, that's when things really start to change. So stop outsourcing. Stop outsourcing your agency over your health to somebody else who's just weaponizing it against you. So for today's Naturally Inspired Moment, I want to talk about how health is more than biology. Health is more than science. We've been taught to think about health only in the biological terms, like genes, labs, diagnosis, age. Biology matters. I'm not dismissing biology, okay? But it's not the whole story. Biology responds to the context you live in, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, a sense of meaning. When you detach from it's just biology, focusing on your biology all the time to heal, you reclaim agency. And so here are 5 ways to expand your thinking beyond biology for better health. Number 1, change the question you're asking. Okay, instead of asking, what's wrong with my body? Why is my body fighting me? Ask, what is my body responding to? What is my body trying to communicate? The body doesn't randomly fail. It only adapts. Symptoms are often feedback. They're not defects. I call them signals for that very reason. The allopathic model will call them symptoms. I hate that word because it triggers fear. I've got a symptom, fear. No, it's a signal. It's communication. That doesn't trigger fear. Oh, what are you trying to tell me? That actually grabs your attention. 2, recognize emotion as biological instructions. Emotions aren't abstract. They send real signals that influence your hormones. They influence inflammation and immunity. Chronic fear, resentment, hopelessness, this keeps the body in defense. Whereas peace, purpose, gratitude, that shifts your body into repair mode. Your emotional state is not separate from your health. It is part of your operating system. It's part of it. Separate identity from diagnosis. This is a big one. In the allopathic model, they label you with a diagnosis, and that becomes, you're no longer Tammy Cuthbert Garcia, you're Tammy Cuthbert Garcia fibromyalgia or lupus or whatever. Because it becomes part of you. When they see you in that model, that's what they see, your diagnosis. Reject that. Reject that because you are not your diagnosis. A diagnosis describes a pattern of signals coming from your body. It does not define you as a person. When someone says, I am diabetic, I am anxious, my anxiety, I'm broken, my metabolism's broken, the body follows that identity. Oh, okay, we're diabetic. Okay, we're this, we're that. You don't heal by fighting the body. You heal by changing the story the body is living inside. Change the story. Move from control to alignment. Trying to control the body creates tension. It's that fight, right? I'm fighting against you. I'm forcing you into this aesthetic look. Through deprivation, I'm going to make you. You'll never win. You'll never win. You'll never win because that's not, you are fighting against your own design. And you can't win. You're never going to win against God. He made your body. He designed your body. You think you're going to win against that? Never fight against your body. Seek to understand your body. What are you trying to tell me? I'm so confused. Admit it. I'm confused. I don't know what you're trying to tell me. I don't know what this is, but I know it's communication. How do I need to respond? Ask the question. When you ask the question, the brain goes and looks for the answer. The subconscious is always working for your benefit, trying to figure stuff out. Figure it out. So ask the right question. Why this communication? Reclaim meaning as medicine. Purpose is not philosophical. It's not. It's physiological. People with meaning recover faster, tolerate stress better, adapt longer. When you stop living on autopilot and start living on purpose, the body shifts from survival to growth. Transformation happens when life has direction. This reminds me of something I saw recently. I think it was on social media. I think it was a famous person. I can't remember who it was, but it was like a famous, not a terribly famous actor, but an actor of some sort. And he was articulating just beautiful about what it is to be a parent and how he realized when his kids grew up that he had to make more choices and live with and find some more purpose. Because when you're a parent, your purpose is very clear, especially when your kids are little, right? You get up, you change diapers, you feed them, you keep them alive, Phew, another day. I did it another day, didn't mess them up. That becomes your purpose every day. And then when your kids grow, oh my gosh, now I have choices. I don't have to change diapers anymore. I don't have to keep this person healthy, well, and thriving. That's no longer my purpose. So now there's all these things. I get to choose my purpose. And that can be a little rough period for people to re-identify with purpose. But understand that it's not philosophical. It's not like a airy-fairy type of thing. It's not philosophical. It's physiological. You need to be needed. You need to be needed. So transformation happens when life has direction. Biology is absolutely real. Of course it is. We work with that as a variable for overall wholeness as a human being, but it is responsive. So your body listens to what you believe. It listens to what you feel. It listens to how you live. It responds with communication from what you put into it. It isn't something you fix. Your health isn't something that needs to be fixed. It's something that you align with. And the allopathic model has taught us to fight, to deprive, to starve, to, push. And that's just exhausting and unnecessary. Start with understanding your body. You have very specific needs. Your lifestyle has to meet those needs. Get a little less attached to biology and attached to the whole picture here of health. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. So glad you're here. Hey, hold on, because hour 2 is coming right up.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. It's a Wednesday. If you're a little late, if you slept in, I wish I was sleeping in actually today. I wish I was. But if you're a little late, you're just catching it. You missed hour one and you need to go back and listen to it because I had a little bit of a meltdown over this whole Dr. Peter Attia thing, but also just about the medical system in general. And really, if we even have a pathway to justice these days, and are we encouraging people to do the right thing? Because does it even pay off? I know we have to do the right thing. I mean, trust me, don't you just sit there sometimes? You're like, man, I kind of it would be easier if I just didn't be so concerned about, doing everything the right way. I think there's a meme going around right now on social. You've probably seen it, where it'll be like some poor schlub like me or you, sitting in the car and just crying and being like, watching OnlyFans people make millions of dollars while I'm here with my values and morals, going to work at 5 o'clock in the morning in your crappy car or whatever, Oh, I gotta laugh because it's all just smoke and mirrors, right? I mean, it's all fake. It's all fake. It's all fake. But it's frustrating to watch. And even the best of us, we get sucked into it. And that's how I feel, kind of, is that, man, can we just give a clear path to rewarding merit and goodness in the world? Can we do that? That would be nice. That would be really great. Okay. But I got something good for you. I got something really good for you today for the American moment, for recognizing American culture. Because as you know, many, many people out there are trying to make you think that you do not have a culture. You're just American and, you don't really have a culture. It's all a mishmash. It's about immigrants. It's about this. It's about that. I just sometimes I feel like don't you just want to give America like a hug? Everybody picks on us, Oh, you're the superpower. Yeah, but we take a lot of crap. It's our fault for everything. You guys did this, you did that. Oh, it's so terrible. So uncouth the way they talk. Oh, Trump, he's so rude. Oh, mean tweets, Sometimes I'm just like, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. And that's why I kind of wanted to share this with you today, because for today's recognition of American culture, I want to talk about some of the things that unite us. They're kind of unspoken. And I found one on social, and this video I want to share with you. This gave me hope. Take a listen and a watch.
Of heart disease.
Oh, no, that's not the right one.
I knew that.
It is. Yes.
Why this song? It's as loud as it gets, so you guys have to be quiet. I'm so confused. I don't know, it was requested.
What is happening right now?
I think that liberal teacher didn't know what hit her there. Those are a bunch of middle schoolers, people. Middle schoolers. Of course, that's Country Roads, Take Me Home by John Denver. Middle schoolers know the words to that song. Why is that? I'll tell you why. That's your culture. Why it hits America so hard, this song, is because it is deeply rooted in American culture. It taps into our identity, our belonging, and our freedom, and core American values, using language and imagery that feel earned, not manufactured. The song performed by John Denver became iconic, not just because it sounds good, but because it feels true to the American story. It hits Americans so hard because it's a feeling. It makes us feel like home. In American culture, home isn't just where you live. It's where you feel aligned. It's where you are known and free. Take Me Home speaks to leaving, wandering, searching, wanting to return something solid, and it mirrors the American tension between exploration and keeping our roots. The road equals freedom. The road is one of the strongest American symbols. Frontier expansion, we talked about this earlier this week. Route 66, westward movement, the open highway. Country roads doesn't promise luxury or success. It promises direction. American values, movement with purpose. The rural landscape as moral grounding. The song celebrates mountains, rivers, country roads. And this reflects a deep cultural belief that the land shapes the soul. Even urban Americans romanticize rural life because it represents simplicity, honesty, self-reliance, connection to something bigger than institutions, and longing without bitterness. This is crucial part of the song. The song isn't angry and it's not political. It's not blaming anyone. It expresses longing without resentment, which makes it universally safe and emotionally accessible. And it's rare and it's very powerful. Collective memory and shared singing. Americans love songs that can be sung together. This one has a simple melody. It uses inclusive language, invites harmony. It becomes communal, almost like a hymn. And that's why it shows up at sporting events, gatherings, military settings, family moments. It affirms our identity without ideology. The song says you belong somewhere and that place matters. In a culture often focused on achievement and reinvention, that reminder is grounding to us. America was built by people who left home, sometimes by choice, sometimes by force, and spent their lives trying to recreate the feeling of home somewhere new. Country Roads gives voice to that quiet ache. It still endures because modern life moves fast. It feels fragmented and often disconnects people from place. And so the song does the opposite. It slows time. It points inward. It reminds people where they came from and who they are. So I just thought it was wonderful to see that young kids like that knew a song. And when everything else is kind of burning down and falling apart, those moments when we can get together at concerts and share songs together, sporting events, I think this is how we can heal. We're never going to agree. But when people say, America's so divided, America's so divided, I want to resist that. I want to resist that because if we're going to stay divided, we're going to lose moments like that. We're going to lose the fabric that kind of holds us together. And it feels like we have stopped celebrating, on things that we can truly unite on. Like, yeah, we can celebrate the win of our favorite team. That's also divisive because there's always a loser, right? So coming into, I think it's really a therapeutic approach that Trump's trying to throw a huge celebration for the 250th anniversary. And he's going to do some big things. There's going to be big events, sporting events for young people, recreational events. And gosh, I just really hope it doesn't get infiltrated. Like, wouldn't it be so therapeutic after everything we have been through historically and even more, recently, if we could just keep some of these things that keep us together, like the songs that we all know, the celebration of our very existence, the pride that we share in being American, not giving away or cowering or letting kindness be weaponized, where someone can come in and steal our culture and put their culture up front, like unapologetically. It's an amazing culture. It's really cool. Like, very rock and roll, very cool, and everybody wants to be it, even when they criticize us and we take all the crap from everybody. Still, everybody wants to be us. Why is that? I think it's because of moments like that. It's because of the unspoken traditions we have, our celebrating of things like Thanksgiving that's kind of attached to football, and all of these things that, these are the things. This is the way we do things around here. This is the way we do things around here, and we should be allowed to do things the way we want around here, because this is where we live. But if we don't try to come together and unite on these types of moments and hang on to this culture, then we will lose it, because there are so many adversaries right now, trying to convince everybody that you don't have the right to that song. Like, even that teacher's like, what's going on here? Huge win, and huge shout out to all of those parents that their kids know that and sung that song. So your culture, you're more united than you're being led to believe. Stay tuned. Your stories are coming up next. News and health. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
To all of our members, new members, for supporting our show and this community. So these people have made a purchase recently. Sarah, John, Mary, 2 Marys actually, Susie, Greg, Lyle, Chris, Christy, John, Bernadette, Brenda, Stacy, Kevin, Josh, Mark, and many others. It's our supporters like this that help us stay on the air and keeps our health community growing, which is changing the culture of health in our country. I tell you, when we sit down and we have a little chat, and the more people that listen to Naturally Inspired, they're regaining control over their health. They are exercising their agency over their health, and they're getting results. And that's so awesome, because that truly is changing the culture around health. It's changing the way people make decisions. They're walking through grocery stores thinking, yep, not that. Nope, not that. I need this. I need that. Like, it's changing. Maybe it's just a few. Maybe it's just a few thousand, okay? I know we're not huge, but we are making change. There's no doubt about that. And of course, we could not do it without you. So thank you so much for supporting Naturally Inspired. You can become a member today if you haven't yet. Go to Naturally Inspired store.com. We have radio down there. You can go there too. I mean, you can go anywhere. Naturallyinspiredstore.com is where you can book your assessment, become a member, follow us on all the platforms at Naturally Inspired Radio. Okay, let's get to the news. Some good stuff here. So you know about Children's Health Defense, of course. I'm constantly featuring them on here because they do the Lord's work, in my opinion. We would not be where we are today without organizations like Children's Health Defense. We just wouldn't. We just would not. We would not have a different vaccine schedule. We would not have so much awareness around vaccine injury. But not only that, like they do a lot of work when it comes to things like, environmental issues like chemtrails and whatnot. So, I mean, I'm always shouting them out because we would not have had the infrastructure to endure COVID if organizations like Children's Health Defense didn't help us. I want to pull up the tweet that they had recently about this new. Nope, that's not the one. There's Children's Health Defense. Nope. Did I not send it? It was a. So let me just find it here. This must be, I must have messed up there. Let me find it. Children's Health Defense has declared that a new study is out. I'm sorry. I don't know how I got backwards on this. There's a new study out that, here it is. There it is. Sorry. So new CHD science paper says aluminum adjuvants can and do cause autism. So the paper reviews 150 plus peer-reviewed. There's your peer-reviewed. It's always selective, though. They want peer-reviewed, but only when it has the results that they back. So 150 plus peer-reviewed studies and that have found aluminum adjuvants meet all 9 Bradford Hill criteria for causation in autism. In genetically vulnerable children specifically, not every child responds the same, but this paper that has come out that they are featuring, and you can find this on, I'm sorry, I didn't have the clip or the right link for you here today, but you can go to Children's Health Defense on Twitter or straight to their website, and you'll be able to find the paper, the correlating paper. So, this is huge because we've been gaslit over this for decades. Aluminum adjuvants in vaccines can and likely do cause autism in genetically susceptible babies and children, according to a new scientific review over 200 peer-reviewed studies. The review, led by Children's Health Defense Chief Scientific Officer Brian Hooker, lays out the biochemical and physiological framework that explains how aluminum-containing vaccines can cause autism. Aluminum adjuvants in vaccines can and likely do. So Hooker and his co-authors concluded that mechanistic, neuropathological, epidemiological, and genetic evidence show that aluminum adjuvants can trigger autism spectrum disorder in genetically susceptible individuals by causing inflammation of the brain. They published their paper on January 31st on the preprint server Zenodo. They plan to submit the paper to a peer-reviewed journal in the near future. Review refutes claim that vaccines do not cause autism. This is the review. Hooker called the report groundbreaking because it scientifically explains the causal link between vaccines and autism that has been denied and dismissed for over 30 years. So the reason that's fantastic. And you can read the whole article there on X. That's fantastic. But immediately what I thought when I read this is they're spraying aluminum in the air, right? We have recorded evidence that bromium, strontium, aluminum, they're being sprayed in the atmosphere. Now, if this is proven that aluminum in vaccines is causing brain damage in babies, then let's now take that to the air. And what is that doing? What is that doing to everybody, first of all? But we have skyrocketing rates of dementia. We have skyrocketing rates of Alzheimer's. And when does this stop? When does this stop? Aluminum is harmful. It is harmful. It gets proven over and over again. So that's a big breakthrough. Now, there's a lot going on in the news, of course. Everybody's, focused on Epstein and, the latest stuff that's going on in geopolitics and stuff. But the wheels are moving. It's slow, but they are moving. They don't move faster because we have this, corrupt model that is so focused on consensus. And we're supposed to constantly be challenging science. That's the whole motivation there. You're supposed to prove the hypothesis wrong so we can keep advancing and understanding science. And so in the past, they have thrown these types of papers out, like Brian Hooker's new paper here. They just throw it out because it's not consensus. Yeah, we've done the studies. We just throw that out. But not anymore, right? Because people know what's going on now. More people know what's going on. And so this type of paper needs to get more attention. We need to expose it. We need to share it because we can very easily be distracted. And this thing will get poo-pooed again because it's not consensus. Consensus it'll be the end of real science. If everybody agrees, everybody agrees. Okay. Some of these papers, they're ridiculous, right? But they'll get consensus because, again, you don't get funding if you don't go along with the flow. So keep your eye out on that. Next thing I want to talk about is this New York Times hit piece. Let's go back to some of my tweets here. Jason, I think I sent them to you. I know I sent them to you out of order. So I apologize. Work with me here. Yeah, great. So Nina Techholz, she's very trustworthy. I love her work. I followed her for a long time. I've seen her speak multiple times. She's fantastic. So trustworthy source here. I just as I was saying at the beginning of the show, Dr. Peter Attia is not one of us. He's not one of her. Peter Attia once promoted low carb. Yes, in fact, 15 years ago, he faced his own stubborn weight problem despite swimming 3 to 4 hours a day. I feel like that's cop. Who can swim for 3 to 4 hours a day? I feel like that would be something Peter would say. Anyway, he was doing a huge amount of exercise. Let's just leave it at that. Then he gave up sugars, starches, and finally went full keto, a high-fat diet. He lowered his protein. His calories increased by more than 1,000 a day. Says he lost 40 pounds of fat, went from a body fat of 20% to close to what was in high school, which is, he says, was 4%. He recounts this in a talk he gave, and I'm going to play you the clip from this. Yet years later, in his book, he says calories matter and doesn't single out carbs as a particular problem. It's a reversal that allowed him to stay inside the orthodoxy, but it does not reflect his experience, or at least this part of his experience. So yeah, this is my point, right? Follow the money. Follow the money. Fat's a big part of the satiety hormone, right? We talk about that here all the time. Yes, high protein. And I'm not sure what she meant there about him lowering protein or whatever. I'm not sure what she meant. Probably increasing fat, right? So getting more calories from fat and not just protein, which is important because the body needs fat. It needs fat. Your brain is mostly made up of fat. And we've been through this terrible run of diet culture where you've been told not to eat fat. You need fat. Anyway, Peter got results doing low carb. And then right away, he turns around when somebody waves some money in front of him, of course. He's got to get on board with, some group of people. And that's what he did. Ultimately, that's what he did, is he sacrificed, pushed aside his own real life experience and went for the money grab. And because if you're on CBS, I mean, you've got to be pushing pharmaceuticals and you've got to be pushing big food. Otherwise, you're not going to be there. And so it's not a mystery to me how people get the amount of attention and following that they do. They're propped up because they do and say what they're told. It fits the narrative. When we come back, I have more on this and more. Your health topic. Lots to go still. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Follow us on iHeartRadio and share at Naturally Inspired Radio. That's where you can find us, at Naturally Inspired Radio. Share it with a friend if you would. So yeah, back in the day when things were, different for Peter Attia, he was giving talks and he was talking about his experience with low carb. This is why I'm concerned about this, is because I don't want Peter Attia to be used to derail the movement of true health. I don't want that. And I could see very easily how he's going to be used. They've already started, right? They've already started on Morning Joe and other places. Anyway, this is Peter Attia talking about low carb and stuff.
Of heart disease. So I knew that I was heading down that path, even though in high school, I had like 4% body fat, but of course I exercise 6 hours a day. And while Gary has just explained to us that there's not necessarily a correlation or causation, there's a correlation there, but not a causation, that sort of changed once I got into my 20s. So part of what I'm going to talk to you today is about the journey of the last couple of years, how Gary and I have sort of come together to work on a project. And I don't know if time permits, but if so, I'd love to talk a little bit about what that project is called, which is effectively the war on insulin and the defense of fat, because you can't have one without the other, as Gary just explained. So anyway, we'll go from there. Thanks, Sean. I'm going to try to go fast on the straightaway and slow on the curves. So I think Gary has already done a great job explaining the problem statement. But one thing I will just say on a personal note, a lot of people ask me why I left medicine. As Sean pointed out, I kind of spent 9 years of my life in medicine between medical school and residency. There were a number of reasons I left. One of them was just profound frustration, which I think both Sean and Conrad have expressed themselves, which is I noticed I spent a lot of time in the emergency room taking care of problems that struck me as preventable. It wasn't to say I knew how to prevent them, but I kept thinking to myself, I use this example to describe it. I felt like I was standing below a building where someone was throwing a whole bunch of eggs, and it was my job to sort of catch the eggs before they hit the ground, and it was very difficult. And I thought, wouldn't it be smarter if I could just get to the top of the building and punch the guy in the head who's throwing all the eggs? That would be a far more efficient way to stop this. But for a number of reasons, I felt that I wasn't doing that, and I decided that clinical medicine wasn't for me, and as Sean's pointed out, I've had a storied past.
So at one point or another, I think this was the best route for Peter to take. he's talking about a book, Taub's book, which promotes low carbohydrate, high protein, high fat diet. And he's aligned with him. And then somewhere along the line, he just, turns his back on this field. And I know why. There's no money here. There's no money here. There's no money here because you heal you, right? I mean, you have these guys, they have to sell their procedures, their injections, they got to get inside the medical model, to fund some of this stuff. And then longevity medicine is very high end. It's very concierge type of medicine that really rich people pay for, i.e. Jeffrey Epstein. And so he found his niche, right? He found his niche in a broken system. But it's too bad because now they're going to, the left and the people who, worship pharma and MDs and certificates and diplomas and the institution, they're going to be like, look at this rogue, medical doctor who didn't even have a license and didn't, this or that, whatever. Like, the people are smarter, than I think they give us credit for. People like on Morning Joe. It's not, the institution is broken. Nobody blindly follows it anymore. But clearly, Peter, described it here. He wasn't able to help people in the medical model. And so he got out into something else. But this is how I know that he's going to be weaponized against us, people like that are in health and wellness and like real health and wellness, because there's a New York Times hit piece out. Take a look at this screenshot of the New York Times piece. So today, the New York Times on a low-carb diet without interviewing a single low-carb expert, not a single one. The Times has published Gary Taubes. That's who Peter Attia is partnered with in that presentation there. Why not interviewing him? Why not interview him at least? This one-sided reporting in nutrition and health is unrelenting, not journalism in any way. So this is New York Times. Why many doctors don't like low-carb diets. Keyword there, doctors. How much nutrition training do doctors get? Very little. But they don't like the low-carb diets. Why is that? Yeah, because low-carb diets lead to less medication. That's just true. That is just true. Yeah. So we're gonna be playing cleanup because of this mess. This is an opportunity for the pharma worshipers and the science worshiper and the worshipers and the whole consensus people to latch onto this and say, see, they don't even know what they're talking about and blah, 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 blah. So get ready for it. Get ready for it because it's a-coming. Next up, I wanted to share this story with you because I had one of my community members actually have this very thing happen to her. And so when I saw this story, I was like, yep, I should probably bring awareness to this. Dentistry. Actually, last night on our weekly wellness workshop, we talked about the connection of your teeth to your biology, to your health, how your teeth have so much more to do with your body than we're led to believe. And so this story kind of caught my attention as well. Watch this.
I am at my family dentist, the one that I went to growing up, and they said I have no cavities. I went to get a second opinion. They said I had no cavities. And this other place said I had 9 cavities, and they had the drill ready to drill my mouth open. And they said I was gonna have to take off work from the jaw pain.
Happens all the time, people. Happens all the time. So I had a community member not that long ago, shout out to her. She had gone to a dentist and, mouthful of cavities, what have you. And then it didn't sit right with her. She thought, I don't know, I don't really know if this is the case. Went somewhere else and lo and behold, She didn't have any. She didn't have any cavities. So, what can you do about this? Listen, dentistry is evolving right now. Absolutely is. We've had, profound movies like Root Cause come out about root canals. I think root canals in the future will not exist. We will not do them in the future. So, there's headway being made. I think there's a lot of things in dentistry that are going to go away, because what we have not recognized that our teeth have a whole lot more to do with our whole body than has been expressed to us. And so it isn't about more procedures and, again, fighting against the body, right? Fighting against the body to force things and pull things out. And it's not without consequence. And up until now, we've been allowing the medical model, including dentistry, to lead us to believe that whatever we do doesn't really have an all-over body consequence. And that's not true. That's not true. Teeth are living tissues. They're living tissues, and the mouth is the gateway to our bloodstream. So when you start looking at it like from that point of view, it should be taken a lot more seriously. It's not like external from our actual body, the health of our body. So less is more when it comes to dentistry. Start looking in your area. I am confident they're going to start popping up all over the place. A biological hygienist, right? So, and a biodentist. These are practitioners who are committed to doing no harm in your mouth, just keeping you, nice and clean, keeping your teeth clean, because, that's very important. You don't ever want to get an infected tooth that can lead to much bigger health problems, right? Like people don't realize that your teeth are a big part of your heart health. Your hygiene in your mouth is a big part of your gut health. So you want to work with a practitioner that respects that and understands that. So the term biodentistry is going to become a lot more well-known. They're starting to pop up in our area. And so I know they will start popping up all over the country. So that is the future of dentistry. It's more biologically friendly dentistry, somebody who understands how to treat your mouth and make sure that they're looking out for the whole health of your body. So something to think about in dentistry. Have you ever been to a dentist, where all the things, right? You got to have all the x-rays, all the screening, and then there's, thousands of dollars worth of treatment plan to tackle. And you don't know if it's a lot, and you haven't really been having any problems. I would probably get a second opinion, because these operations it's a lot of money to go to dentistry school. There's a lot of financial burden in the equipment, investment in the equipment, and they need to make money. I'm not saying they're all bad. Of course they're not. There's some honest people out there, of course, but this too exists. And this is not the first time I have encountered this type of story. Multiple times. And so be on the lookout when you're out there making decisions about your mouth, because it does affect your whole body. So braces too. I think things around braces are going to change. I think that when you think about braces, they're pretty invasive. And, they really move things around in your mouth. And if you stop wearing the braces, the retainers or whatnot, the teeth go back, you're fighting against the body again. And I'm not saying that braces shouldn't happen. I don't know. But it's something to consider because, teeth are much more linked to your immune system. They correlate to organs in your body. In the weekly wellness workshop last night, we even had a map to show you which teeth correlate with which organ and which system in the body. I think that's information we should know before we just let people rip teeth out of our mouth or squeeze them or pull them, I think so. Stay tuned. Your health topics up next.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
If you have not done it yet, you are invited. Schedule your free health assessment with me at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Again, that's naturallyinspiredstore.com. If you have any questions about the Naturally Inspired community, like it's not clear, you're not really sure what I do, how it would support you, how it would help you, just text me, 720-303-8868. I can answer any questions over the text line, and then we can get you booked to do a free health assessment. Naturallyinspiredstore.com if you want to book it yourself. If you want to text me, 720-303-8868. For today's health topic, I want to talk to you, and I know I talk about this a lot. I always feel like maybe I talk about it too much, but then it keeps coming up. So, when it keeps coming up in my conversations with you, then I'm like, maybe mention it again, right? And specifically yesterday I had a wonderful assessment with a lovely lady. And we were just talking back and forth, trying to uncover some clues, which is what we do in health assessments, background. Tell me more. Where were the clues? That's what we're always looking for. And we discovered something about the vagus nerve in her life and how that impacted her. And so that's what I'm going to talk about. But specifically, I want to talk about vagal tone, because in the Naturally Inspired moment, I was talking to you today about detaching a little bit from your biology. It's easy to get stuck in your mind, in your biology, oh, it's my knee, right? You're really focused on the biology of the issue. And what I'm saying is, yes, you have to focus on the real, the tangible biology, but also what else? What are my other tools here that I can use? And I've talked a lot about the vagus nerve and how it detects frequency. It's kind of like our antenna. It's the longest nerve in our body, and it has the power to calm our nervous system. We have in-house anti-anxiety, in-house, built in. It's the vagus nerve. And what happens is we don't know how to activate it. We suppress a lot of emotions. And what that does is it suppresses our vagal tone. So for today's health topic, I want to just get a little bit more into this. Vagal tone, why it gets stuck, okay, and how to improve your vagal tone. First, what is vagal tone? What is it actually? Vagal tone reflects how well your nervous system can move out of stress, return to calm, shift from survival to repair. High vagal tone means you're flexible, you're resilient, you recover quickly. Low vagal tone means you're stuck in fight or flight and freeze. Okay? So it's not about relaxing all the time. There's a lot of chatter in health and wellness, especially about self-care and relaxation. Listen, if you're stuck in fight or flight chronically, it's like banging on a brick wall. You go for a massage and you just feel like they're trying to break down your wall. Relax. but something in you won't relax. And so you can't, like, it's a process to break down that wall, if you will, of fight or flight. And if you've been dealing like with caregiving for a long time, if you're the caregiver in a scenario, if you are, been through, very stressful events, maybe your job is stressful, maybe, maybe you live life, and you feel like you've been in this chronic fight or flight phase, then it can take time to upregulate your vagal tone. But we don't even know about it. Most people don't even know that you can work with your internal tool here and improve your vagal tone. So why vagal tone gets stuck? 1, chronic stress without resolution. So not trauma, but unfinished stress. When stress never completes its cycle, the nervous system stays activated. So always alert, always scanning, always braced. The body learns danger as a default. So you're like, we've talked here about home emotion. Like if you walk around and your home emotion where you feel most comfortable is anger, then you go there. Everywhere you go, your home emotion is anger. And guess what? You're going to attract a lot of angry situations because that's where you spend most of your time. Same thing here, right? So the body learns danger as default. You go out in the world and what's happening? Where's the problem? Where's the problem? And when all you're looking for is the problem, guess what you get? Problems. Emotional suppression is also a reason for low vagal tone. So unfelt emotions don't disappear. They signal silently. Unexpressed grief, anger, fear, resentment, this keeps the vagus nerve inhibited. It locks the system in defense. It shows up as tension, gut issues, breath restriction, and then ultimately fatigue. The nervous system responds to honesty. So feel the emotions, right? A lot of people I advise, like, if you've been through a traumatic event and you're tough, and I know you're tough. But write it out. Just if you can't talk to somebody else about it, because you're concerned about judgment, or you're concerned in so many cases, you don't want to. The people that love us so much, we don't want to tell them things that hurt us because we don't want to hurt them. Because we know if we hurt them. So write it, but get it out of your body, right? Get it out, even if it's just on paper. Okay, so loss of meaning or direction. So when we feel aimless, when we feel hopeless, when we feel reactive, the nervous system shifts into survival mode, not growth mode. So purpose is calming. When you're on task and not distracted, and when I'm talking about distraction, I mean spending time on things like worrying about the future, worrying about the past, ruminating, thinking about things that you can't do anything about. That's all distraction. And the brain doesn't actually like living there. It creates, a feeling of like helplessness. It creates, angst and worry, and it's unpredictable. And the brain likes comfort and predictability. So when you're on task, some people call it flow state, when you're doing something, you're really immersed in it, your whole brain is there. That's purpose. And you don't have time to think about what happened in the past. You're not ruminating on other stories while you're doing something. That takes practice. It takes practice. There's no such thing as multitasking. If you're thinking about the past while you're doing something in the present, you're not fully present. And that can create anxiety. That can create scatteredness and keep you in fight or flight. So when you find yourself, that 25% of your brain that takes off and starts worrying about your laundry or whatever, reel it back in and try to stay focused in the present, what you're actually doing in the moment. That'll help restore calm. You'll have these long moments of peace and calm when you're truly focused on your task at hand and not living in the past, ruminating on a story, or projecting out the future about what if. Number 4, shallow breathing and posture. Oh gosh. This is all of us. I don't know. We're, leaning over a desk, looking down on our phones. This creates that shallow breath. Just taking a deep breath, really being mindful to fill up your whole lungs, like really try to fill them to the top. Hold it and then exhale it. As you practice that more, then you start expanding your breath. And that can get you out of fight or flight and chronic low vagal tone. So posture, so chest breathing, tight diaphragm, forward head posture. This physically limits your vagal tone and vagal signaling between brain, heart, lungs, and gut. Over-identifying with symptoms. When someone thinks, this is just how I am, my body is broken, the nervous system adapts that identity and it stops looking for growth. It stops looking for expansion. Identity can lock you into a physiology. So if you're somebody who, I have back pain, I got a sore back, that becomes the identity. Break out of the identity. Change your posture. Change it however you can, but don't stay locked into a pattern because that's keeping you from being able to get out of fight or flight and access the tool inside of you for healing, which is the vagus nerve. So how to improve vagal tone that actually works? Slow the exhale in your breath. This is the fastest access point. Inhaling the 4 seconds, exhaling 6 or 8 seconds. Longer exhales directly stimulate vagal pathways. So you can do this 2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day, and that will build up your vagal tone. Using your voice, the vagus nerve inverts the vocal cords. So humming, singing, chanting, gargling, some people do, even reading out loud. This is why people feel calmer when they pray, when they sing, or when they speak out loud. Safe social connection. The nervous system heals in safety, not isolation. So eye contact with other people, calm conversation, laughter, being understood, feeling connection. It's not optional for regulation. You need it. Just when you start to think about the way our society is moving and how we operate so much through technology and we're so isolated, gosh, when you correlate that with health, it's like the whole thing is the way it functions is not conducive with health. It's technology is making us more and more isolated. We have studies and research that show that we have the highest percentage of people that experience loneliness ever. People report feeling lonely right now more than ever. And look at all the ways we have technology to connect. And people have never felt more lonely. I can't help but, recognize that the biology of being around other people, I always say that the vagus nerve is like your antenna. It's your way of when you walk in a room and you feel like vibes, that's your vagus nerve picking up on vibes, and you put off vibes as well. And so it can't be mimicked through technology. You've got to get out around people. So don't be afraid to speak, to exercise that vagal tone. And it's you got to practice it. And it gets better with practice. Gentle rhythmic movement. So not high intensity, stressful workouts, but purposeful movement. Things like stretching, yoga, light strength training with bands. walking. Rhythm tells the nervous system we're safe to move forward. Meaning-based regulation. This is the most overlooked one. What am I moving toward? Why does the day matter? What am I choosing? Stop reacting. Start responding. Thanks for being here today. This has been Naturally Inspired Radio. See you tomorrow.